The business cycle refers to the recurring pattern of economic expansion and contraction that occurs in a market economy. It is characterized by fluctuations in economic activity, including changes in production, employment, income, and other macroeconomic indicators. The business cycle typically consists of 5 phases: expansion, peak, contraction, trough, and recovery. Here's an explanation of each phase. Expansion phase. The expansion phase, also known as the recovery or upswing, marks the period when the economy is growing. During this phase, GDP increases, employment rises, and unemployment rates decline. Consumer spending and business investments typically increase. Interest rates may be low, encouraging borrowing and spending. Peak phase. The peak is the phase when the economy reaches its highest level of activity before entering a contraction. Key characteristics of the peak phase include: GDP growth slows down. Employment levels may plateau or begin to show signs of slowing. Consumer and business confidence are generally high. Prices may start to rise, leading to inflation concerns. Contraction phase or recession. The contraction phase, commonly referred to as a recession, is characterized by a decline in economic activity. Key features of the contraction phase include: GDP decreases and economic output contracts. Unemployment rates rise as businesses cut back on hiring or lay off workers. Consumer spending and business investments decline. Interest rates may be adjusted by central banks to stimulate economic activity. Trough phase. The trough marks the bottom of the economic cycle, where the economy reaches its lowest point before starting to recover. During the trough phase, GDP stabilizes and begins to show signs of improvement. Unemployment rates may remain high but start to stabilize. Consumer and business confidence may start to improve. Central banks and governments may implement measures to stimulate economic recovery. Recovery phase. The recovery phase is essentially the early part of the expansion phase, where the economy is recovering from the downturn experienced during the contraction or recession phase. The terms recovery and expansion are often used interchangeably to describe this period of positive economic growth after a trough in the business cycle. It's important to note that the duration of each phase can vary, and not every business cycle follows the same pattern. Economic factors, policy interventions, and external shocks can influence the timing and severity of each phase. Monitoring the business cycle is crucial for policymakers, businesses, and investors to make informed decisions and adapt to changing economic conditions. Additionally, understanding the business cycle helps in assessing the overall health and resilience of an economy.